guys, I'm doing some examples from 7.3. We did these during class, so here's some recorded examples for you. So, today we were using the distributive property. I have my steps here. So step 1 says use the distributive property if needed. So under the distributive property, we are distributing this coefficient to the inside of everything in here. So we're going to multiply 3 times x and 3 times -5. So we are multiplying to each term in the parentheses. So 3 times x gets us 3x, and 3 times -5 gets us -15. And I'm going to rewrite and bring down everything I didn't use. So I'm going to bring down this +1, my equal sign. Don't forget this line to split your equation in half. And I'm going to bring down everything on this side that I did not touch. So 2 plus x. Alright, step 1, done. Okay, step 2 says combine like terms if needed. So remember, like terms are the terms that look similar. So remember, I would box my terms or circle them. So I'm going to box my 3x and this x, and then I'm going to circle my constants. Remember, constants are numbers that don't have variables. So I have 3 terms on this side and 2 terms on this side. I need to condense them. So one of these sides has 2 shapes that are the same. I see that there is -15 and 1. These two are the same. I cannot mix 3x and -15 because they are different. They are not like terms. They have, this one has a variable and this one does not. Therefore, I also cannot combine 2 and 2x. Excuse me, 2 and x. That's why one is circled and one has a square. So I can combine these two because they are both constants and they both don't have variables. So I'm going to do -15 plus 1 is going to get me -14. And then I'm going to bring down everything I did not use. So I'm going to bring down that 3x and bring down, equal sign, bring down this 2 plus x. And now step 2 is done. Now I'm on to step 3. It says make a 0 pair with the smaller variable if needed. So I see that there's 2 variables here. One is 3 and one is x. Or just one. And then some people get confused with that x. Remember, that x, if there's a variable all by itself, it just means there's a 1 here. There's always one x. There's always a coefficient of 1 to the left of every variable if there isn't one. So we got to make a 0 pair with a smaller variable. 1 is definitely smaller than 3. So I am going to subtract. I'm going to subtract that 1x from each side. Alright, so 3, I'm going to rewrite everything. So 3x minus 1x gets me 2 x's. And then we bring down that -14 equals 2. Step 3, complete. So now I'm on step 4, make a 0 pair for the constant near the variable if needed. So remember, constants are numbers that do not have variables on them. These 2 numbers do not have variables, but in my instructions it says the variable near, the constant near the variable. This constant does not have a variable on this side, but this one does. So I'm going to be making that -14 and give them a 0 pair. So to make a 0 pair, I need to put the same number, but I need the opposite operation. So the opposite of negative is going to be positive. So a positive and a negative is going to cancel out, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, +14. And I'm going to copy down everything. So then I got 2x equals 14, 15, 16. So 14 plus 2 is 16. Step 4, check. Last but not least, step 5 is divide by the coefficient. And I need to divide by the coefficient. Now, one of these numbers is the coefficient. The definition of coefficient is the number that is in front of the variable. So, the number in front of the variable is called the coefficient. It tells you how many of that variable we have. So we have 2 x's. So I'm going to divide each side by 2. And this is going to free up that x because we want x all by itself. So divide by 2. These cancel. These go into turn into 1. So we're left with 1x after. Divide by 2. We are left with x equals 16 divided by 2 is 8. Final answer. We are done. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Okay, so step 1. And don't forget, we gotta draw our line. Draw your line down the middle. This breaks up your equation from each side because you got to keep your equation balanced. So we're going to use the distributive property. Alright, so we're going to distribute. I see, so we use the distribute. We distribute when we have parentheses. This is the only side that has parentheses. So I'm going to take this negative 4 and distribute it to the k. And distribute it to that negative 1 by multiplying. So I'm going to multiply negative 4 times k. It's going to get me negative 4k. And negative 4 times 1 just gets me negative 4. And then I'm going to copy everything else down. So negative 3 and 5 minus 7k. Alright, step 1 done. Step 2, we're going to combine like terms. So remember, I need to circle which ones and box which ones are the same. So this negative 4k, I like to do my variables first. And then I get to circle everything else. So negative 4, negative 3, and 5. So my side with 3 terms, I can combine them because this side has 2 circles. So I can combine those 2 circles. Because I have negative 4 and negative 3, I can combine those together. This side I don't have anything to combine because there's a circle and a square. So this is my only side I can combine like terms on. So I am going to combine those. So negative 4 minus 3, if you don't like that. Remember, you can always do keep, flip, change. Now you got negative 4 plus negative 3. That sounds a lot nicer because we don't really like subtraction very much. Adding is way easier. So we got negative 7 over here. We got minus 4k equals 5 minus 7k. It's super important to keep rewriting your problems. Super important. So step 2, done. Next, step 3, we're going to make a 0 pair with a smaller variable if needed. And where is a smaller variable? We are looking at, we got negative 7k and negative 4k. Now, don't let the numbers confuse you. Think of the number line. And the number line, on a number line, negative 7 is farther away from 0. I'd rather be $4 in debt than $7 in debt. So that one's definitely worse, and that one's definitely smaller. So we are going to make a 0 pair with negative 7. And negative 7, I put a 7k down here. And to make a 0 pair, I do the opposite of negative, which is positive. So I'm going to add 7k to both sides. Add 7k to both sides. And then I'm going to rewrite my problem. So this is gone. So I got 5 equals negative 4 plus 7. Different signs means subtract. So I'm going to do 7 minus 4 is 3 and keep the sign of the larger number. My larger number is 7, so I'm going to add, it'll be a positive 3. So I got 3k minus 7. Step 3, check. Alright, next. I need to make a 0 pair for the constant near the variable. Again, the constant is a number that does not have a variable on it, so the constant near the variable is negative 7, because that's the only one that's on the same side as the variable. So to make a 0 pair, I do the opposite. So I'm going to be adding the same number, 7. Those cancel out. Add 7. I'm going to rewrite my problem. I got 3k, 7 plus 5 gets me 12. Step 4, done. Last but not least, step 5, divide by the coefficient. The coefficient, again, is the number that's in front of a variable. The only number in front of a variable is 3, so I'm going to divide each side by 3. This way I get rid of the 3 away from the k, because remember I want the variable all by itself, so 3 divided by 3 gets me 1, and 12 divided by 3 gets me 4, so I'm left with k, and k equals 4. Final answer. I hope this was helpful. Please rewatch as many times as needed, and message me if you need any help. Thanks. Bye.